Okay, so Fikile Mbalula, Secretary General of the ANC, publicly opposed the President of the Republic and got away with it. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you a shocking statement by Mr. Julius Malema. I believe the most shocking statement he's made ever since the beginning of his political career. Then I'm going to show you Fikile Mbalula's response, and then I'm going to take you to where he opposes the president on Workers' Day and gets away with it. Now, if you stay all the way to the biblical reaction, what you'll get out of today's video is hope instead of fear and anxiety about your country. You are going to have even faith for your country when everyone around you will be anxious. And on top of that, at the end of it all, 5 years, 10 years from now, you'll walk around with such a sense of victory and winning because of what you'll have in this video above everyone who has not seen it. So if you're ready, press like and let's go right ahead. Now, I'm going to start with this amazingly shocking statement that Julius Malema made. And before you brush it off, let me say this. In 2015, Julius Malema said, Nhlanhla Nene, the finance minister, will be gone in a few days. In a few days, he was gone. In 2018, he said, expropriation without compensation will be a reality in this country in the not so distant future. Well, it's a reality now. So, this is the statement he made after Gwede Mantashe compared him to the DA, called the DA the devil, and said he's worse, he's like the fire. I guess hellfire. And this is his shocking response.
Now we must look at how we remove the EFF and. So, and I want to warn you that this country will have a white president. This country will stay in Ezen as a president if the ANC is going to behave the way it's behaving. Because the motion of no confidence will come, will vote with the DA, mobilize all those who can mobilize, we vote together with the DA against the president. And then when it is time to elect a president, we abstain. And the ANC loses. We abstain. And this we told them in 2016, they never believed it. It's going to happen in South Africa now, you'll see. With this kind of attitude by the ANC, the arrogance of the ANC, even when it is being humbled, is still acting in an arrogant manner. We told them in 2016, you are going to lose metros. They thought we were playing. We went into those things. The DA nominated their people. We abstained. They finished them. When they were voting with us, the ANC, they win. But when they don't vote with us, they lose. That's where the road started. That's where the decline started. That's why the decline started. The decline started in 2016 when they lost the metros. And then the whites took the metros because of this reactionary attitudes of devil and fire. So it's going to happen. If they are not going to change their attitude, be rest assured we are going to fold our arms where they will be needing us and they will lose. I can tell you this without any fear of contradiction.
Whoa! Whoa! So, of course, Fikile Mbalula responded to what he just said, and Fikile Mbalula had a lot to say.
So we will await that moment when it happens, if it were to happen. We have been promised here that John will become the president of the country. That is possible. Because you must not think that is empty rhetoric. They did it. Right from the inception when we lost power, the EFF voted with the DA. But the leader today is a great revolutionary, a friend of Traore, from Burkina Faso. A great revolutionary, Julius Malema. He says that he doesn't want the DA and EFF and Freedom Front Plus, but when it's convenient for him, he votes with them. And when I engaged him and he said I must go and talk that nonsense far away from him. from the onset, I said, but revolution and this ideology, DA says, go and talk that nonsense far away from me. We will vote with the DA. In doing what? To punish the ANC. And you don't ask a question. What is the beef with the ANC? That is God. We don't have a beef with the EFF. We are not at war with them. We understand them perfectly as an opposition. EFF is not an enemy. Is an opponent of the ANC. Right? Our strategy and tactics is very clear in defining what is the enemy. It says our opponents in politics and in parliamentary environment must not be misconstrued to be enemies of the revolution. Right? The strategy and tactics goes further to define what is the enemy. We differed when we said the enemy, it is white monopoly capital. And then we said it cannot be that the ANC have such definition in its vocabulary or in its strategy and tactics. We said capital, it is not the enemy of the ANC. That is why we said it is unity and struggle of the opposites. It's there in the strategy and tactics. So we don't just verbose words. We are guided by the strategy and tactics. Other political parties just verbose things as and when they feel like. But we are guided by the strategy and tactics that tells us how do we define our opponents. They are opponents. They are coming our way. They are participating in a democracy. But the enemy finds its expression in different forms today.
Now, I'm not going to verbose and verbose and verbose. I'm going to move straight without further verbosing. I'm going to move straight to the part that I told you about, where after we were told that Steenhuisen would become the president, and he just told us that, yeah, we'll see, it's possible. Well, he then goes on to talk about the GNU and closes what he has to say in style. Now, it's amazing to watch this if you have been following what's been happening the last 2 months. And it really is like watching a dream. Now, hear what he says here, and let's get to the end. What I promised you at the beginning of the video is the last thing he says. Hear him talk about the GNU before opposing the President of the Republic.
GNU, we're going to reset the button, and then we're going to have a meeting of the GNU, and then we're going to discuss how we want to work going forward. We've got a clearinghouse. We're sitting here, a minister is taken to court on a policy matter by a partner in the GNU, okay? There are many other things that we need to clarify in terms of this GNU. Have we finished the year as the GNU? No, we have not. Yeah, it means we are again. So that is why it feels like we've finished many years. We have not finished a year. So we need to look at that. Clearinghouse, is it working? How do we deal with issues? It looks like when you are here, you need to condition your mind that all the time you must negotiate. I've spent almost a month now negotiating a budget as the SG of the ANC, and the branches are waiting for me there. But this is the life we're going to live. Even my hair have changed and so on. So this is the life we're going to live. And we need to understand. So we're resetting the button about how the GNU parties, not government, parties operate. And it is important that we need to engage all the time on matters difficult and so on. These issues that have been flagged will still be discussed in the context of the GNU and all of that. And as I conclude, and maybe if we were operating in a different manner, we would have reached a consensus on the budget before it was presented as the ANC-led government of national unity. So we need to relook into those and address a whole lot of issues going forward so that we avoid clashing unnecessarily and do the right thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, colleagues, and thank you, SG, with us. We are adjourned, but I think, SG, you want to say Happy Workers' Day to members of the media?
Yeah, no, we wish all the workers a Happy Workers' Day tomorrow, and long live the workers of our country. An injury to one is an injury to all. And down with the DA, down. Thank you very much.
And down with the DA, down. That's the president he was opposing. We've been hearing that John Steenhuisen is a guaranteed president of the Republic, and he just said down to the party of the president. Okay, so let's talk about this now. Let's give you my biblical reaction. For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation for everyone who believes. And that's everybody. Now, this is a true statement on its own. But I want to show you a principle from here. The power of God, God who is spirit, and I will be comparing to other spirits, not because of equality, but only because of nature of spirit. The power of God to get results comes or is the gospel of Christ. Let me put it like this. The power of spirit is a narrative that's believed. Now, the power of God, the gospel of Christ is the power of God only to those who believe, though, like me. And I see that power daily, and I've seen it all my life, all through my life. But bringing it down to answer something here, the power of spirits are narratives that get believed. When people believe narratives, they activate spirits. And this is how countries are controlled. You get people to believe a narrative, and it's not just believing a narrative. Depending on what the narrative is, it can activate a spirit over a country. Here's something that's happening in our country right now. Not just from what you've watched, not just for the first time hearing someone say, John Steenhuisen, a white guy, will be president of the ANC. With the media just going, not. Two, watching the ANC, who have had a narrative all along of we can kick them out anytime, to, yeah, we need to figure stuff out so that the GNU works. You know, this is where we are, people. That's how it works. You know, they are opponents, and this is just a political game. It's not just demonizing. It's like, no, no, we're doing politics, guys. And then having him at the end saying, down with the DA, down. And laughter. You may miss this, but some narratives have shifted in the country. If the narratives shift, guess what else shifts? The power of certain spirits over the country. So, I will show you the narratives that have shifted and then tell you where we're going as a country, or at least what is happening right now from a higher perspective, a biblical reaction perspective. Now, if you're ready, please go down. If you're subscribed but you haven't rung the bell, this is a good time to do it, because this is gonna get good. So hear me out, and no, I don't have time to make a long video, so I may skip certain things, but get what I'm saying. These are the narratives that have cracked in South Africa. Narrative number one that's cracked is that South Africa is defined by the black ANC. This narrative is cracked, if not collapsed. Huge. That South Africa is defined by the black ANC. Crack. Narrative number two is this, that black South Africans are defined by race and not ID document. I would take it even further, but especially it's important for this one. The narrative that black South Africans are defined by race and not their ID document or passport, that narrative has taken a blow. In fact, I can now say on this video that is going to thousands that I took offense to President Gwede Mantashe in acting President Gwede Mantashe attacking people who carry the same passport as mine for political points. Number one, calling them a white town, knowing he's lying. It's not a white town, it's an Afrikaner Calvinist town. I haven't been to Orania, but I'm sure I'm not gonna find a whole type of white people except Afrikaner Calvinists. So, I, as a black South African, was offended that my president would get on a stage to score political points by attacking my fellow citizens. Now, I can say that, and I'll tell you now, I'm not the only black person who can say that. I could have thought that 2 years ago, but I can say it now because this narrative that black South Africans are defined by race and not ID document is cracking nationwide. The last narrative that's taken a beating, can't come back, is that the narrative of envy, anger, and victimhood are the expected norm for every black South African. The narrative that black envy, black anger, black victimhood is the norm has taken a crack, if not collapsed. Someone says, oh, I wish it was like that out there in the rural areas. Trust me, as in Gauteng, so in every rural area, just delayed by time. So, what does that mean for South Africa? Well, let me give you, I'm still in my biblical reaction. Here's what it means. You have three parties that sold the narrative of envy, anger, victimhood. You had one party, but now you have three that have nothing to say but to sell anger, envy, and victimhood. And those parties, because the ANC has split into three, we know that the MK is an ANC split. It's not an original party. We know the EFF is a division of the ANC. Now, here's what Jesus said. He said to them, every kingdom, remember, narrative is power of a spirit to those who believe it. Now he says, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to destruction. And every city and every house divided against itself will not stand. This is a principle. This is not maybe. This is not we hope. Guaranteed. It will not stand. The kingdom, which is represented by the spirits of envy, the spirits of anger, the spirits of victimhood, has been divided and will not stand. If Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then will his kingdom stand? And then Jesus goes on to talk. Listen, Marxism will not stand in the country. It seems very strong to you, I imagine, but trust me, it will not stand. Maybe I should say, it can't stand and stay in charge of the country, because the spirits behind it have been weakened beyond redemption in the near future. You will see this with the ANC. I do not believe they will recover. They will certainly never get back to defining South Africa. They will never get back to defining South Africans. South Africans will be defined by their passport and their ID books going forward. And therefore, this spirit that relied on this narrative has lost its power and is every single day losing a believer. So, what does that say? Here's what happens when a spirit loses control and is kicked out. It doesn't say, it was nice being here, cheers guys. Please expect drama upon drama upon drama. Because listen, when Jesus rebuked him saying, be quiet and come out of him, this is what often happens when that spirit of envy, that spirit of anger, that spirit of victimhood loses its control. It will convulse, it will cry out, it will get loud, but it's on its way out. It's on its way out. Oh, come on, somebody. You better go down and say amen 50 times. It's on its way out. It has nothing to hold on to. The loss of its power is right now rippling out from every major city to every rural area. Every Christmas when someone visits, they are going out there, and because it's spirit, it's not even the discussion. Just what they carry and what they believe will begin to influence, and it will ripple out and reach the whole country. As in Gauteng, so in the plazas. Come on, somebody shout where you are. The spirit of envy, victimhood, anger is defeated in South Africa, and I will say, in the name of Jesus, I declare it. So, what I am encouraging you is, do not be afraid. Stay in your peace. Keep your peace. Keep your faith. And, of course, we have a part to play in the whole process. That's why we have the Prosperity Catalyst Fund, because we're going to make sure we actually put actual information in people's hands. We'll be distributing our books throughout the country, and some of you are holding hands together with us, and we'll keep updating you and sharing what's going on. We're doing our part. We're on video now talking to you. We're doing our part, but listen, it's a done deal. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it is springing forth. I hope by listening to this video, you now know it. Our God is making a road in the wilderness, and rivers with clean, drinkable water are gonna flow in this desert. Listen, South Africa shall prosper. South Africa shall take its place as the best in Africa. South Africa shall start aiming for countries outside of of Africa, and this battle is won. This battle is won, and what I've said is activated from the moment that you go down in the comments and type, "This battle is won." So, no man can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will despise the one and respect the other. Child of God, you cannot serve God and Karl Marx. Let's make history together. See you at the next video and at the comments below. Cheers.